And we always like to start the show with a little thing that we like to call Nerd News. It's last week's Nerd News today. As always, we are headed over to the anchor desk where our anchor person, Brent Williams, has got some naughty, nerdy stuff to talk about. Brent?
Nothing naughty.
Oh, man.
No new nurse over here.
You're not going to get a better teaser than that.
All right. Well, how familiar are you guys with AI?
Pretty familiar now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kicked my wife off of Meta, so, you know. That's not even a joke.
Several times. Well, okay, so there's this one company called Anthropic. They make a model called Claude, and I've used that.
We've talked about Claude on the show.
Yeah. Claude. So anyway, they just recently released version 3.7. So 3.5 was their main one. It was fast. It was awesome. I used it all the time. 3.7 now is a reasoning engine, right? Like it can reason.
Okay.
Which semantically, I would think that would make it 4.0, but 3.7 technically works. I don't understand why they do that.
And philosophically, it's still terrifying.
That's right. But anyway, so there's this.
Now it can choose to kill you.
Are you old men familiar with this thing called Twitch? Have you ever heard of that? The Twitches?
I have heard this.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, the Twitch thing. So my nephew is on Twitch. He games,
Story time.
Yeah, he games for like hours and hours, and people watch him play on Twitch, and he makes like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To play games and have people
Watch.
basically voyeur him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly.
Is he in his boxers when he's doing it?
You
or-
know, I didn't ask.
Okay, it's probably best that you don't.
No.
Or watch it.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so there's this cool thing. There's a channel on there called Claude Plays Pokemon. And the 3.7 engine is playing Pokemon Red, and it is doing extremely well, actually. But when I went to watch it, it already had earned like 3 gem badges or something. But the only thing about it is, so on the left-hand side of the screen, it shows its reasoning, what's going on, why it's thinking and doing what it's doing. And on the right-hand side is the screen, and it is painstakingly slow. I mean, it's still cool to watch, but literally the guy will move, like one bit, and there's just paragraphs and paragraphs of text, discussing why he chose to move that direction and why and stuff. But the most interesting thing is watching them in battles. So he had this battle with a Pokemon, and it was a bug type Pokemon, and he had his lightning type Pokemon, which apparently I guess doesn't work. I never played Pokemon, so I couldn't tell you. But anyway, I'm watching him battle. And he's like, I'm going to try this attack. And he would hit it and it wouldn't do anything. And he'd go, well, that didn't work. I'm going to try something else. And then you'd see him scrolling through and reasoning stuff. And then he'd try the same attack again. Meanwhile, his hit points are just going boo, woo, woo, like this. And then finally he just says, I'll just pick another one. Picked a bird type. And apparently, one hit killed the bug, right? Apparently that was the right type. But the cool thing was, you saw him go, well, apparently, that's the right type of Pokemon to match against that type of Pokemon, right? So you see it reasoning out and why it's going to use stuff, and it's basically learning. So it's at one time really cool and another time extremely scary. So
yeah, well, being a gamer, one of the things that I really liked to do was get into as much as I could. Well, when I was bonding with my 5-year-old nephew, he was really into Pokemon, so I wanted some sort of like an absolute connection.
Right.
So I went out to the store, bought myself a Game Boy, got myself Pokemon, and started playing it. And I was like, "This is actually kind of fun."
Yeah. So, but it's if I understand, and we won't stay on this forever, but if I understand this right, it's reasoning, but it's taking Claude a long time to reason.
Yeah. Well, because it's
not next time.
So right now, Claude's on the short bus.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting at.
No. So it's reasoning because it's like it's learning the game, right?
Yeah.
But I think once it goes through it and it's done all that, then it has that knowledge and it can play a lot faster.
Yeah, and it decides.
So they're kind of just showing you how the LLMs learn, basically.
It's decided that it doesn't want to go immediately to nuclear warfare.
Yeah, absolutely.
It decides to try and problem solve the game first before it decides to bomb the developer.
How about thermonuclear warfare?
Yes, that's where I was going with that.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes, please.
So apparently there's a live-action Dungeons and Dragons series in development with Sean Levy at the head.
Heard about it.
I did not
and
hear
it's going to
about
be
this.
the Forgotten Realms, which is like the most famous, realm in D&D, right?
It's not a realm. It's just a series of stories.
Well, okay.
Actually, Brent.
It's true. I mean, if you want to talk about actual areas in Faerun, then we can talk about that.
Please enlighten us, Micah.
Nerd.
Well, actually, we just had character creation last night. I was able to actually trim down character creation to like 6.5 hours for character creation.
Holy goodness.
6.5.
That's dedication right there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That some people call it that.
But I got my whole story written. I actually, my daughter and I co-wrote it together. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, moving on.
I like that topic.
That was a good topic for me.
Thank you. That's what was in my head.
Oh.
Okay, no. Okay, so this is also really cool. So there's a place called the Sauce Shed, and they have partnered with Atari.
You almost
Immediately.
You almost
12
had
years
it.
old immediately.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They have partnered with Atari, and they have made Atari-themed barbecue and hot sauces. Yeah.
Okay.
And the boxes are like the, Atari 2600 game art and stuff. So there's one for they have 10 different ones. So I'm going to read those off to you because why not?
Because why not?
And their tagline is "Use it with joy, stick it on everything."
Oh.
I don't get it.
All right. So they have one called the Mystic Dragon sauce from the game Adventure.
Stop.
You're just making this too easy, buddy.
Asteroids is galactic hot barbecue sauce. Berserk is electric circus.
Okay.
That sounds that sounds like an acid you would drop.
Breakout is brick smash barbecue sauce. Crystal Castle's enchanted berry barbecue sauce.
Oh, that must be the meth.
Yeah, that's where I went. That's where I went.
Gravatar's Zero G Sriracha hot sauce. Now, I would try that because Sriracha.
Sriracha, sure.
Love Sriracha. Haunted House is the Phantom Pepper hot sauce. Again, I would definitely try that.
Okay.
Pong is the Retro Classic barbecue sauce.
So it's basically just Heinz barbecue
Yeah.
sauce.
just boring.
It's just that came in that plastic bottle.
Ketchup and brown sugar.
The first one is the only one that sounded really nice and dirty.
Super Breakout jalapeno hot sauce.
Okay.
And Yar's Revenge, Yar's Inferno hot sauce.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would try that Phantom Pepper. I want to try that Phantom Pepper one.
You don't want the Dragon Special Sauce?
I've had that.
Have you? No judgment.
That is a podcast for another day, boys. Oh, are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's it for this episode of Nerd News. Thanks for letting me know there, buddy. Oh, well,
Well,
anyway.
I usually only have 3 stories, so apparently we're not mathing today. So
I have been off of serious pain medication for maybe 24 hours.
And I got a little bit more chatty.
story time.
Story time.
And now it's story time with Micah.